And basically last week I was all set to do it, and then we had a power cut. I had a power cut all day. It was so annoying. Anyway, now I can't get my bloody tripod thing to work. Oh, do you know what? Ball sacks. It'll just have to stay like that. There we go. Can everyone hear me all right? I feel like my connection keeps going in and out. Can you hear me all right, Hannah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, your connection seems fine to me.
Okay, good. So do you do many Instagram lives?
I've done a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I did one with Destiny. Have you done one with Destiny?
Yeah. She's ace, isn't she?
Yeah, well, we wanted to do a video and then decided, well, we tried to do it as a Zoom that we could record and then post later. And then decided to do a live thinking that we'd then be able to post that later, but we couldn't. So
yeah,
I don't like
know
a random 11
o'clock
o'clock on a Monday or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she's amazing. She looks so good, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
She really does. So obviously the reason that I wanted to catch up with you is because on the C list, what we're trying to do is each month sort of shine a light on a different cancer, and it's Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month this month. So we thought, who should we speak to? And I absolutely loved your Instagram account just because you're just quite matter of fact about it and quite get on. I mean, to be honest,
just being visited by someone who needs an iPad code. It's the same code as yours, but you're going to have to wait 4 minutes now because you put the wrong one in.
Oh, that's an error. That's a really bad error. Got to get it right first time.
Go on, it's the same password as yours. I'm using my daughter's iPad, so she's watching my son's.
Oh,
she's being told to go to bed early
now
and she can have a bit of iPad in bed if she keeps quiet.
Do you know what? Everybody says, oh, screens are really bad, but sometimes they're really on your side, aren't they?
Sometimes it's just very much needed.
Yeah, God, is it ever? So you've got kids then. How many have you got?
Yeah, I've got 2. I've got Neve, who's 7, and Bobby is 3.
So Neve's 7, Bobby's 3. So take me back to your diagnosis then. How long ago was that? You were 35, weren't you?
Yeah. So that was 2019.
Yeah.
So I started getting symptoms in the April. And then it wasn't until about September, October, they started suspecting cancer. And then November, I got the full diagnosis.
So that was still 2019?
Yeah.
So what were the symptoms?
Started out with constipation.
Mm-hmm. You'd never think that was connected.
No, not at all. But like a lot of ladies, and I know speaking to my friends, like even well before cancer, a lot of us suffer with constipation on and off.
Interesting.
So I'd been on a hen do for a weekend, drinking a bit much, eating not much apart from KFC.
Yeah.
And thought, right, well,
Standard.
I just need to drink more water and eat some more vegetables, and I need to take better care of myself. So to begin with, there were no alarm bells. It was just, I'm a bit constipated, but it's fine. So that was in the April. I'd had Bobby in December before, so 2018. So he was a few months old. Probably took laxatives for maybe a week or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the doctors, said, right, I've got this constipation, it's not going. She's back with the iPad. It says 2 minutes.
Yeah, but it's 7.
What do you mean it's 7?
It's already 7.
It's not 7. It's 22.
20 minutes until 7.
What, you can have half an hour? Whatever time you get on, you can have half an hour. Right?
Oh, bless her. You can't make it up, can you?
No, it's not helped because she's tired, so everything's always worse when she's tired.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd had Bobby December 2018, so he was a few months old when the symptoms started. Went on a hen do in the April.
Yeah.
After a week or two, went to the doctors and said, I've tried laxatives, it's not working, can I have something else? And it'll have been something like Laxido or something that I'd had in the cupboard from, I think I was probably constipated in pregnancy as well, so
yeah,
you know, just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
They either told me to just increase the dose or gave me something else. I was back and forwards that many times.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a blur now. So that went on for a few more weeks, and I kept thinking, I'm just being a bit of a hypochondriac here. I just need a poo.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to my family, my sister, I just need to have a poo. Why do I have to keep? And I was going to the doctors, not that regularly, but more than you should. And I was saying, I feel like a massive hypochondriac. I just need a poo.
And what did they say? And they just keep giving you more laxatives, or?
Yeah, so it was put down to it's your body going back to normal after having a baby. It's stress, because Neve was 4. I'm not with
Bobby was only a few months old.
Bobby was only a few months old.
Yeah.
At that time, I was still with Bobby's dad. We're not together anymore, but he's got 2 daughters, so we had 4 kids in the house.
Right.
They were 4 and 7, about 4 and 7 or 8. So 4 kids under the age of about 8.
Wow.
Just yeah, and obviously this is all pre-COVID as well, so we didn't even have the COVID stress.
Oh my God.
So it was put down to your body's going back to normal after having a baby. It's your hormones settling down. It's stress. You need to drink more water. You need to eat more healthily. Look after yourself better. You need to sleep more.
And did you have any family history of ovarian?
No.
So that wasn't on your radar at all?
Not at all. No, but my dad's mum, so my grandma had bowel cancer. That's it.
Wow.
The bowel cancer didn't even occur to me.
No.
And because I was going to the doctors and they were saying, oh, well, yeah, maybe it's IBS then. If it's not stress and it's not, it must be IBS. And I just
were you losing weight, or?
I was, but slowly. But I'd also joined Slimming World because I was trying to lose the baby weight.
Ah, right.
So although when I was going to Slimming World, they were saying, right, you've lost 1 pound this week, you've lost 2 pounds this week. And I was thinking, I haven't really tried. I don't feel like I'm on a diet, but something must be working. Yeah. So it wasn't that I was losing weight drastically. If I was losing like a stone a week or, you know, much more than I was, then maybe alarm bells would have rung.
Yeah. And were you in any pain anywhere?
I was probably uncomfortable, but I was constipated.
Yeah. So you would just be, any normal person would just be putting it down to that, wouldn't you know? It kind of adds up. I feel uncomfortable. I haven't had a poo, and go to the doctor, get laxatives. Yeah.
Occasionally they'd work, but I'd always feel like it hadn't worked fully, and there was still more there. But I thought, it's just one of those things. I must have IBS then. I must have, at the age of 35, developed IBS. And I was seeing different doctors because with my doctors, if you phone up on the day, you get a triage appointment. Yeah. And it's just whoever happens to be on call. So it wasn't that I was seeing the same doctor every time.
Right, okay.
Occasionally I'd get a doctor that I'd seen before, but most of the time it was different ones, or I'd see a nurse, or I'd see a locum.
Yeah. And what got the diagnosis then in the end? Did something happen that? Yeah,
it was. Do
you know what? My dog's just going nuts. I'm going to have to quickly open my door. Hang on a sec. Sorry. Oh, sorry, love.
Okay.
So how did they end up,
Well,
investigating?
It'd been over the months. It'd gone from constipation to me then having heartburn and reflux, which was put down to my stomach being pushed up because I was constipated.
Yeah.
I had difficulty eating, so I was eating. By this point, Bobby was weaning, so because he was 6 months. And I'd be going to the doctor saying my portions are smaller than my baby's. But that was put down to you're constipated, so you don't have room in your bowel, therefore you don't have room in your stomach.
But this has been going on for months.
Yeah.
Right. Gosh.
I know. And
it's so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. At one point in the summer, I'd Googled all my symptoms and it had come back saying ovarian cancer. And I was down there a few days later, I think for Bobby, and said to the nurse, well, while I'm here, because I'd probably seen her for various issues over the last months as well, so she knew who I was. And I said, oh, I've Googled it, I've scared myself a bit, it's come back saying ovarian cancer. And she was like, oh no, don't worry, my friend's got IBS, she's got the exact same symptoms as you. And just partly you don't, nobody wants to hear cancer, do they?
No, of course they don't.
So I just completely put my trust in the doctors and nurses. So when they're saying IBS, there was something in me thinking this isn't right, but I didn't want to admit it, really, I don't think.
Yeah, or push it, or kind of like undermine what they're saying to you.
And right from the beginning, I felt like a hypochondriac. So by going down there that regularly, I felt like a nuisance. I was almost apologetic going into the surgery, saying, sorry, I'm here again.
Yeah.
I'm just, because I never felt ill enough to, be rushed off to A&E. And
no.
Apart from one day, I did have really bad stomach pains, and that was eventually put down to constipation. But nobody was then saying, "Hang on, why are you constipated?"
Right.
So eventually,
saw
one of the doctors who's one of the partners, and seen her right at the beginning, and I'd probably seen her for a couple of times on and off.
Yeah.
And she said, right, this has been going on now for months. I want to get you referred for Crohn's because there might be something more than IBS going on.
Yeah.
Crohn's is typically diarrhea, but I've seen it with constipation before.
Okay.
So I want to rule it out. So I thought, right, okay then.
Something's being done.
Something's being done, yeah. So that's a 2-week referral, like it is for a cancer referral. And she said part of your referral is a blood test to rule out bowel and ovarian cancer.
Oh, right. Okay.
But apart from one of my grandmas, there's no history of bowel or ovarian cancer.
Right.
So it just didn't
worry you, didn't concern you.
And she said at the time, don't worry because you don't have history of it, and typically ovarian cancer is postmenopausal, and you're 35. So I thought, right.
So they did the blood test then?
Yeah.
And when was that, after the 2-week pathway, or did she do the blood test?
She referred me that day, and then I think I probably went down a day or two later for the blood test.
Right.
And then the day, about a week after I'd done the blood test, so I had the colorectal specialist, I think, on the Friday. So I think the Wednesday before, I went down to the doctor, saw a different doctor, and I said, I'm in agony. By this point, I looked heavily pregnant.
Oh my God.
And because I'd had so much going on, I hadn't kind of noticed how bloated I had, because I've got pictures of it.
Yeah.
But just put it down to constipation.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd really mentioned it to a doctor. And I went down and said, look, I need some painkillers. I'm in agony. I can't sleep. And pulled up my T-shirt as I was leaving and said, look at this bloating. And she had a look of shock on her face.
Oh my God.
But it said, you're seeing the colorectal team in a couple of days. I can't prescribe you anything because it can exacerbate the constipation. So you're just going to kind of have to wait and see and carry on with it. So I left there, came home, and within minutes, I hadn't even taken my coat off. She was on the phone, the doctor, saying, "We've got your blood test results, you need to come and see me."
Oh, wow. And then did you know?
Yeah, straight away, like heart drops. And I said, "No, I can't." Like, what time do you want me to come down? And she said, well, this was like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. She said, "Oh, I've got space at 2 o'clock. I said, "No, just tell me now, because I can't sit at home now for hours and wait." And she didn't want to, but she said, "Right, okay, if you're certain, I'll tell you now." So she said, "Your bowel cancer test has come back fine, but ovarian cancer, the marker is out of the normal range."
Oh, my gosh.
And up until this point, I didn't even know you could have blood tests for cancer. I hadn't even heard of ovarian cancer, really. Up until sort of doing the Google search and seeing it in the summer. No knowledge whatsoever.
Oh, my God. So there you are with Neva's little one, and then you've got Bobby, who's only months old.
Yeah.
And 2 other kids living at home as well.
Yeah.
And then you're just dealt that enormous blow. So what came next then?
So on the Friday, I went to see the colorectal specialist. I told him everything. Said, I've had constipation for months, bloating, difficulty eating, heartburn. He felt my tummy, gave me a bit of a prod, and completely dismissed Crohn's. He said, "This isn't Crohn's. I don't know what you've got, but it's not that. But I'm going to send you for a scan." So I think like the Monday after, so just a couple of days, then I had a CT scan. And on the Tuesday, I saw the gynecologist. When the doctor had done an examination the week before, just before she told me the blood test was out of the normal range, she'd done an internal examination and found a polyp.
Right.
So he had a look, removed the polyp, said, I'm pretty certain it's not cancer, but I'll send it off to get checked. So I thought, right, okay. So the whole time, kind of hearing these little things and picking up on what they're saying and trying to think, it's not cancer, then it's not cancer.
Yeah.
Then he went and sat me down at his desk, and he looked at me, like, hand on the table, and he just went, "We've got your scan results, and it's bad news."
Oh, my God.
And then sat back and just went silent.
Oh, my God.
I just panic sets in. And I said, "What do you mean bad news?" He said, "Well, you've got a mass, and we're pretty certain you've got ovarian cancer."
Oh, my gosh. Were you on your own, or did you have your partner with you?
I had my partner with me.
Right. Oh, my God.
I know. And I just couldn't get my head around it. I thought, no,
I'm constipated.
Yeah.
For months you've been telling me I'm constipated.
Yeah.
So obviously that was then confirmed that you had a mass.
Yeah.
And was that the reason that mass what was causing the constipation? Because it was obviously pressing on something.
Yeah, it was squashing my bowel.
Right, okay. So then what was, how did they stage it? Did you know at that point what the staging was?
No, I hadn't had a biopsy at that point. So he said, "You've got a mass on your ovary." Didn't indicate what size it was. He said, "The next steps are you need the fluid draining from your abdomen, and that will make you feel more comfortable. You should hopefully be able to eat more. While you're having the fluid drained off, at that time you'll have a biopsy taken. We'll grade your cancer, confirm it is that, and then we can discuss a treatment plan."
Right. Wow.
I know. And then I think, handed a handful of leaflets and...
I know. It's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah, off you go and we'll be in touch.
Yeah. I remember when I went in and got my diagnosis, and again, it came completely out of the blue, and they handed me like a lever arch, like a small lever arch folder.
Yeah.
And it said like breast cancer over the front of it. And when we walked out, I'm like, why am I walking out of it? Like, it just didn't feel right that I suddenly had all this information I was like, I don't want it. I don't want. Oh, it was just horrible. It was horrible.
I know.
It was so surreal.
And I had a business card for a Macmillan nurse, and they were saying that's she's your contact, and she'll be in touch. And if you've got any questions, feel free to phone her.
Yes.
I can't even
No.
I had absolutely no idea what questions I should have.
Yeah.
Could have.
Yeah.
Mind's blown. Completely
So then
blown.
you had the staging done, and what did they stage you and grade you at?
Stage 3, low grade.
Low grade.
Yeah.
So if it was low grade, does that mean that it's a sort of a slow burner one?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So when I went in then to get the biopsy results, I felt completely bamboozled again, because it was saying, right, you've got ovarian cancer. We know you have. It's stage 3. Then he was talking about low grade, high grade, aggressive, and I was like, God, I can't. I don't know what you mean. I don't understand this.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to dumb it down a bit.
Yeah.
Have I got fast or slow growing? And he said, you've got slow growing. He said, if you had high grade, with the amount of time it's taken to get you diagnosed, you'd be dead.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. And I thought, oh shit.
Oh God. And stage 3 meant that what? It
It'd spread
to where?
Well, I had 2 rounds of chemo, just to try and stop it growing anymore, and to stop the fluid coming back, because I'd had the fluid drained off by then. And then I had surgery. So in my surgery, I had a full hysterectomy. I lost my spleen, my bowel, so I've got a permanent ileostomy.
Yeah.
And part of my stomach. I have to sit and count the organs off on my hand.
Oh my gosh. So it's a massive operation then.
Yeah. And they took the omentum out as well, which is the fat layer that covers your abdomen.
So what does that mean then? That it's quite tender?
No, it feels like I'm touching it now. It feels normal.
It doesn't. Oh, okay.
No.
So why would they have to remove that then?
It'd spread into there.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Which I think once it's gone into the omentum, that's what gives you the bloating.
Yeah.
And I'd spoken to my Macmillan nurse the day after I'd seen the gynecologist the first time, and said, how do they know I've got cancer when I haven't had a biopsy? Why are you so certain? And she just said, it's because you've got the bloating, and that indicates that it's spread.
Oh, right. And obviously your bloods were indicating that as well.
They weren't. I mean, I've seen, because I'm on various Facebook groups, and from talking to people on Instagram, some people have their CA125, which is the marker for ovarian, in thousands. And I think mine was something like 150.
Oh.
And the normal range, normal range is 35 and below. So it wasn't.
Oh. So it wasn't like sky high then? No.
So even at stage 3, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't sky high. Like, people have it much higher.
Yeah. So what has been your treatment plans? Obviously you had the quite significant surgery.
Yeah.
Then did you go on and have chemo and radio and everything?
No, they thought that after surgery that I'd need chemo. But they said in surgery they took 99% out of the cancer. So there was a tumour sort of that size filling my pelvis.
What?
The
really?
It took 3 surgical teams. They had the gynecology team, the
gosh.
colorectal team, and then
Yeah.
I had the stomach team on standby, and then they came in to do like the stomach, you know, remove part of my stomach.
Wow.
So I had a big tumour filling my pelvis, which had been squashing my bowel and causing the constipation.
Gosh.
And then I had another tumour filling my abdomen.
Do you know what? It's a wonder actually that you managed to sort of go on as long as you did. Because that's an enormous sort of mass to have in your body.
Yeah,
and pushing on all your other like vital organs. Yeah, it's just.
I think part of it is probably because I had young kids. I just had to get up every day and do the school run.
Yeah.
I had my partner, you know, helping, and parents live close by. But
God.
I was just having to get up and get on with it.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the children, then maybe I wouldn't have gone on as long as I did without kicking up more of a fuss.
Yeah. So what's day-to-day life for you like now then? Are you in and out of hospital a lot?
Not really, no. I'm on Letrozole now. I've been on that since last June.
Right.
So
how are you finding that?
Well, I mean, I'm menopausal because of the hysterectomy, so it's hard to know what's menopause, what's a letrozole side effects.
Yeah.
Are
you allowed HRT or not?
No, my cancer's hormone receptive.
Ah, right.
So I take antidepressants to help with the hot flushes, which does help. And I do still get them, but it's more if I've been rushing about or if I'm stood in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it just
that's when I get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes coffee can trigger it. If I can bring it on. They're horrible, aren't they? The hot sweats.
I don't drink much coffee, so I haven't noticed.
Yeah.
With that, but yeah, it's just all of a sudden, and I think, oh God, I need to sit down and I'll just take my top off, walking around the house.
So you've been scanned frequently then?
I had one in February because I was having checkups every 3 months. So I had one in December.
Yeah.
And then I had one. I spoke to my oncologist last Wednesday, so I should have had a scan just before that appointment. But in February, I went into hospital with a stoma blockage. So they gave me a CT scan when I was there.
Right.
So the letrozole has shrunk my tumour that's just behind my belly button.
Yeah.
He said it was the size of a pea, and now it's shrunk by a third.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So at the moment, so where they've done the surgery and they've taken all the tumours out, are you sort of no evidence, apart from that one behind your belly button, is it like no evidence of disease at the moment? Or do they not say that to you?
No. I was, after my surgery, I had scans and my blood tests were all in the normal range, and they were saying there's no evidence of disease. So I had nearly a year. Well, no, I did have a year. I had a year because then the January after my surgery, so when it had been 12 months, I was in hospital a few times with what we thought was gallbladder pains and gallstones.
Yeah.
So they took me into surgery to take my gallbladder out. But when they went in through my belly button with the camera, they saw little spots of cancer.
Right, okay.
But even at that point, they'd gone in and they'd seen it. They gave me a CT scan afterwards, checked the cancer markers in my blood, and there was still no sign of it.
Really?
So it took from January until June last year for it to show up in my blood and on a scan.
Right, okay.
So that's when I was prescribed letrozole last June.
Mm.
And then, it shrunk it.
Wow. So you're on letrozole and you have 3 monthly scans. Apart from that, does your life feel kind of normal? Like just getting on with sorting the kids out? Like, do you feel all right in yourself?
Yeah. I mean, like I say to people, the way that with how small the cancer is now, if I didn't have the stoma, I probably wouldn't really notice that I've got cancer. It probably wouldn't have that much of an impact, apart from the occasional hot flush, and I get joint pains, but
yeah,
but it's in a knee that I've already got arthritis in anyway, so it's difficult to really know what's pre-existing and what's I don't know.
What about your energy levels?
Oh, shocking.
Is it?
Yeah, but
are you able to go back to work or not?
Well, I went back in January.
What do you do?
I was admin for a garage door company.
Yeah.
So I went back and I'd had over a year, like between finding out the cancer was back and having to isolate because I was clinically vulnerable. I'd had over a year off. Did 2 hours, came home and napped, went back the week after, and they were absolutely fantastic at work.
Were they?
Like, no pressure, no, you need to come in and do this many hours on these days. It was just come in and we'll take it as we can. And my manager said, we need to have some sort of an idea in mind of when you're going to increase your hours. And I just said, actually, I'm just going to go.
Oh.
I can't, because it's not me coming in and doing a few hours here and there and then going home and napping before I pick the kids up. It's not actually going to benefit anybody.
It's not going to benefit you or them.
No. And I couldn't see a point in the future where I'd feel up to increasing my hours.
Yeah.
So, no, I left.
Financially, it's a really tough situation to be in as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we all need to work. And do you get support?
Yeah, I get universal credit.
Yeah.
And when I was first diagnosed, a Macmillan nurse helped me fill in the PIP forms.
That's good. That's good. They're brilliant, aren't they? Macmillan are fab. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if she'd not helped me fill it in, I probably wouldn't have been accepted for PIP, because I know that they can be really difficult.
Yeah, and it's all quite bamboozling as well, isn't it? It's all quite complicated, and that's great that you got that support from them. And how are your kids doing? They're probably too young to really get it, are they?
Well, Neve does understand it to a degree.
Yeah.
She knows now that it's cancer. Whereas to begin with her being 4, it was just Mummy's got a poorly tummy.
Yeah.
Mummy's having medicine and it might make her hair fall out. Now she knows it's cancer.
Yeah.
And I keep her informed. Like last week I said, look, I've had an appointment with my doctor and he said that it's shrunk. So she knows. She does know bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And I keep it as, kiddified as possible.
Yeah.
She gets a bit almost anxious sometimes when
I bet she's
not with me.
Yeah.
I have to go into hospital. I end up in hospital sort of every 3-4 months maybe with a blocked stoma.
Is that quite common? Is that like a thing that happens with stone? Do they get blocked quite easily? Is it that? So what's that like, living with a stoma? Hard to describe.
It's hard to. I don't want to be completely negative.
No, I just think it's really interesting that, because it's sort of one of those things that's not really spoken about very much. And I was reading a statistic today. I think there's over 100,000 people in the UK that have a stoma. So it's there are more people with them than we realise.
I'd like before this, my only experience of somebody with a stoma was a guy that I worked with who'd had a colostomy from birth.
Right.
I had no idea that You know,
Because
there's different names for it depending on which side it's on and how much bowel they take out.
I did not. I knew that, but I didn't know that there was a different one for each side. But your post that you did, because you've got, you know, the fact that you've got to empty the thing. Of course you do. That's. But it was so interesting because I'd never. I don't know. I suppose
when I had it, and I didn't know that I definitely need it. It was before I went for my surgery. You might need it. It's, you know, you're just gonna have to wait and see what we take out. My dad's at the back door.
Do you want to go and get it?
No, it's all right. My mum's there. So when I had it, when I was in hospital, I'd sort of hover over the toilet and empty it. And I had there was a couple of times there was an accident and it'd go on the floor, or I'd have to call a nurse because I'd been opened from like my bra line to the top of my pubic area, and I couldn't really move.
Oh my god!
So I'd have to call a nurse and say, "I'm really sorry, but
my bag's got."
Yeah, my bag's leaked and I've got poo on the floor and I can't get down to pick it to clean it. So when a stoma nurse came round, after I'd had it for nearly 2 weeks, like, you know, getting me ready for going home, and I just said, how do people that are like 6 foot empty their bag? Because, you know, I'm hovering and it's kind of all right, but I've had a couple of accidents. But people that are 6 foot, it must be really difficult. And she went, they sit down.
Oh, I see.
And I'm like, what? So why has no one told me?
Yeah, of course, that makes sense because you were sat down in the video that I saw.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And she said, no, you just sit down, put it between your legs, open it, and it just go, and then wipe it with some toilet paper, and it's done. I was like, oh my god, that's so obvious.
Yeah. Does it hurt? Is it uncomfortable?
There's no nerve endings on it, so I don't know how much you've seen of other stomas or, you know, the people that are watching us now. So some people have them where they're sticking out quite a bit.
Yeah, seen those ones.
So basically it's like a bit of your intestine that's sticking out through your stomach. Mine's completely flat, so if that's my stomach there. So some people stick out like that. Yeah. And then you've got the bag going over it, and your poo basically drops straight into your bag. Yeah. Mine's a bit more like that, so it's almost inverted. Flush. Right, okay. Yeah. Well, it kind of sits back a bit. So I get sore skin around it because I've lost the bit of bowel that takes the stomach acid away. Right. So I have the stomach acid sitting on my skin. It gets burnt. And do you have anything to put on that? Yeah, there's different powders and creams and things and different ways to manage it. I just have to change my bag as soon as I can tell it's leaking. Yeah. So it is the stoma that gives me the most issues. And it really dictates what I can and can't eat. Does it? Yeah. Because your intestines are like really sensitive. Yeah, partly it's sensitive, partly it's I've lost the bit that takes water out. Right. So when it's an ileostomy, so mine's on the right side, which is an ileostomy, so I've got the ileum sticking out. When it's on the left-hand side of your stomach, it's a colostomy. Right. And that tends to be more like a formed poo, more like a normal poo. Yeah. So, I mean, if anyone's watching and they've got one or they know about them, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they tend to go maybe like once, twice a day. Right. So quite a lot of people with a colostomy wear a bag that's closed. So when they go, they just change the bag. Yeah. But with an ileostomy, because it's so much more active. And because all the water's still in it, there's more of it then, presumably. Yeah. Does it constantly just be filling up? Yeah, depending on what I'm eating, and yeah, it can do. And sometimes you can feel something happening and you know that it's active, but most of the time, no idea.
And is it common to end up with a bag if you've got ovarian cancer? Because I feel like I've not heard that before.
I don't know I can't say the word statistic.
Yeah.
I don't know the statistic. It's not completely unheard of.
Right.
But I don't think it's that common. Just from being on the groups that I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, majority of us or even half of the people on there have got stomas. But yeah, it does happen.
And what's your mission with no ovaries and a stoma? Is it that you know, wanting just to spread awareness, tell your story?
Yeah, spread awareness. That's the main thing, because I mean, I get messages from people saying, you know, because of seeing your post, I think I've got symptoms, so I'm getting checked, or my mum had ovarian cancer, my grandma, you know, they told it was IBS and it was too late by the time they found it. I just want to get the awareness out there of the symptoms, and that it is so easy to miss it.
And what, from your knowledge,
time,
what are those top symptoms that people need to be looking out for?
Bloating. So it's bloating that is persistent, that's different for you. It's not bloating when you've eaten some bread.
Yeah.
Or, you know, bloating when you're during your periods.
It's like unexplained bloating, isn't it?
Yeah. It's persistent. Like, mine was rock hard.
Right.
When I touched it, it wasn't like bloating and, you know, I'd just eaten too much. It was rock solid. So you've got bloating, you've got eating less and feeling fuller, which can lead to obviously weight gain if you're not eating much. I'm working my way through the letters. Abdominal pain.
Yeah.
See, oh God. Changing. It's because I'm trying to work my way through each. Changing toilet habits. So for some people, they need to wee more.
Right.
Or if they get the urge, it's instant. They need to go to the toilet instantly. Or it can lead to a change with your bowel habits.
Yeah. Which it did with you, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And heightened fatigue.
Right.
So again, I had in the summer, while thinking it was IBS, I had what I thought was vertigo.
Oh wow!
Because my head was really dizzy, and I thought this has got to be vertigo. I think I must have had it before, and I kind of room spinning. So I just thought that's what it was. Saw a doctor, and they said, "It sounds like vertigo. There's not really anything that we can do." About a week later, I went to see an out of hours doctor on a weekend and said, it's getting worse. And he held his finger out and made me follow it with my eyes and do all these different tests and said, you haven't got vertigo, you've got chronic fatigue, or, you know, you're just exhausted. You've got a baby, you've got a 4-year-old, you've got, worked his way through the list, all these reasons for me to be tired. And I said to him at the time, that doesn't make sense, because I have got a lot going on, but I am resting.
Yeah.
I do feel like I sleep, so that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. And also, other people that have got kids and they probably don't have the same level of fatigue. You do know it, don't you, in your gut when you're not quite there.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Archie. Sorry, I'm just being delivered a dog. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bless him. You're not going to sit still now, are you? Bless her. Have you got any pets?
Well, not officially. My mum and dad live 2 doors on, and they've got 2 cats, so the cats kind of come and go.
Oh, do they come round?
Yeah.
It's so nice you've got your parents there, though, as well, to help you. That must be a huge a huge help, especially with the kids and whenever you've got
Yeah.
appointments and so on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a complete lifesaver. I don't honestly know what I'd do without them.
Yeah. And so on the C list, obviously what it came about, the C list did, because when I was having my chemo, I didn't know what products I could use on my skin, and I didn't know what to use when I washed my hair and all the rest of it. And I was wondering, are there any products that you use whilst you were having treatment, or has your skin changed much, or any tips on anything you've done?
I've always got a Body Shop hemp lip balm.
Oh my God, I can't live without a lip balm close by.
I've got them everywhere.
Everywhere.
Coat pockets, bags,
in the
next to
car.
bed.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
That and hand cream. I couldn't live without hand cream on treatment either, because I think I was washing my hands so much.
Yeah. I don't remember using hand cream much, but I do remember thinking, I don't know what shampoo and conditioner I can use.
Yeah. Did you lose your hair?
Well, I used the cold cap, but on the first, like, no one really, says you need to make sure it's really firm, and so it was on, but I ended up losing like a band around there, and then on the top it really thinned out.
Yeah.
So I didn't go fully bald, but yeah, I did lose quite a lot.
Yeah. Did you use a wig or anything?
No, I got an NHS one.
Yeah.
But I didn't end up using it.
Yeah,
I think I was quite lucky because it was like November when I was diagnosed, and then November, December I had chemo. So I'd wear like beanie hats or
scarves.
Put the hood up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did actually, and because I still kept some of my hair, I could pull some of the bits down, so it looked like I still had quite a bit of hair.
Yeah, so if I had a beanie hat on, I'd still have little bits kind of poking out. So.
Yeah, it does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So with, I think the chemo is similar, if not the same treatment to breast cancer, isn't it? Was it EC you had?
Possibly. No, I think
Paclitaxel.
Paclitaxel.
Oh, you had a Taxol. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but low grade doesn't typically respond to chemo, so they haven't given me it again. And it's last year when they knew it had grown, they were really reluctant to give me chemo again, because they said the side effects and how it's going to make you feel, and not really going to be worth it, because no. Don't think it'll do much.
Are you going to have genetic testing or not?
I've had it.
And?
No BRCA.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember saying at the time that I was diagnosed, I've got a daughter. Is this something that she needs to worry about? And no, they did the test and said no, there's no genetic link. It's just one of those things.
No rhyme or reason for it.
No.
God, so interesting.
I know. It's possibly the hormones during pregnancy.
Oh yeah, because you were just right.
Yeah, so possibly it started because when I was pregnant with Bobby, when you have the Down syndrome test, we'd had that, and not for Downs, but it was the Edwards and Patau's, and he'd come back as a 1 in 19 risk, I think, of having one of those.
Oh right, okay, that's quite high. That's quite high.
Yeah, so we'd gone for we went for further testing for that, and they basically said it's because your hormone levels are so high. So it's possibly.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it's possibly then that the cancer started growing, but because it's slow growing,
right,
it had taken, like a year to.
Do they think that you probably had it for about a year then?
Well,
they never know, do they? It's hard for them to. Yeah, I always wonder when did mine kick off, but they can never answer that question.
No, and I was always a bit scared to ask questions. When I was diagnosed, I'd never dared say, how long have I got? Because to me, cancer was either you have treatment and you're cured,
Yeah.
or you die.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was this whole group of people that are living with cancer.
And living well with it, you know.
Yeah.
And actually, yeah. And I think that's so positive, and I think more and more people are talking about this now, and there are more people, and I think that's a lot to do with social media and the fact that, you know, people like you have a voice now, you know, and if somebody wants to find somebody that's living with ovarian cancer, they're going to find you, and you know, and it's, I just think it's really inspiring that. Mind you, I suppose as well, you kind of, somebody said to me, you know, oh God, how did you get out of bed every day when you're having chemo? I'm like, well, when you're at kids, they don't just start suddenly behaving, or, you know, they can't, you know, life goes on, doesn't it? You don't have a choice. You've just got to get on with it.
Yeah.
And you must feel that.
Chemo. When I had my first chemo, I came home, and then the next day I was down doing a school run because I just wanted to keep things as normal as possible. I needed to feel as normal as possible, but I wanted it to feel that way for them as well. Yeah,
it's a lot to do with that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think because of because of films and TV, most people's perception of chemo is you're in bed, you're completely bedbound, you're throwing up, you look all skeletal.
Yeah,
and it's not always like that for everyone.
Not.
People
No, that's true.
To it, don't they?
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Well, listen, I won't keep you any longer because you've got little ones that, and her half an hour is nearly, well, gosh, it's probably.
Hopefully she's turned it off, but I doubt it.
I doubt it. But thanks so much for sharing your story. I find it so fascinating, and it's really, just without sounding really wanky, but it's just so inspiring that you just like share your story and you just help. It will help so many other people, so I really appreciate it. And if I can just ask, are there any charities that you support or work with, just that I can post in case anybody has got any questions or they have any signs and symptoms, that they know where to go? Which charities would you recommend?
There's one that's not ovarian specific, so that's Mummy Star.
Oh yeah, heard of that. Yeah.
So they are the only charity in the UK that help women diagnosed in pregnancy or 12 months after birth.
Yeah.
So Mummy Star are just absolutely amazing, and although they only start supporting during pregnancy or that 12 months. Once you get to the 12 months, they don't then say that's it, we're done.
Yeah.
Once you've been referred to them and you're in contact with them, they're absolutely fantastic.
That's amazing. So
they're there as long as you need them. Yeah.
Okay.
Target Ovarian Cancer.
Yeah.
Overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. OVACOM.
Oh yeah.
Eve Appeal.
Eve Appeal, yeah, of course.
Who are the 5 gynecological cancers.
Yeah.
And there's Cure Our Ovarian Cancer.
Okay.
And that's a lady that set up a charity in New Zealand, and that's specific to low-grade ovarian cancer. Okay.
That's brilliant. Lovely. Thank you. Just so I can post it in case anybody wants to get any more information. And I really encourage everyone to follow No Ovaries and a Stoma.
Great name. If anyone's got any questions, the inbox is open. Not always that quick at responding, but
that's okay. And I'll be posting this.
Ask anything.
I'll be posting this on the grid as well. So if anybody's got any questions underneath, I'm sure that Hannah will respond.
I will.
Anyway, all the best. Have a lovely evening, everybody. And thanks everyone for joining us. I'll catch up with you again. All right. Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.